The epilogue. 10 months later. Tabitha. "You look beautiful," I say to Tess as she adjusts her veil in the mirror. Her hand touches the lace one more time. "Do you really think so? I'm not sure about this veil anymore." "No, it's perfect. You are just suffering from nerves, but you don't need to. Samuel is an amazing person, and I know the two of you will be so happy." Samuel proposed to Tess last Christmas, and they decided to have a late summer wedding. I think they might have waited to have a Christmas one, but Tess wanted to have Molly as a bridesmaid, and she was now 9 months pregnant with her first child. She and Dillon had married just before Thanksgiving last year, and Kirsten and Tristan had married earlier this year. It certainly was a year for weddings. "Is that normal?" Tess's eyes are wide and filled with fear. "It's absolutely normal," I say. "I'd be a little worried about you if you weren't a little nervous. Marriage is a big change, but a great one." "All right." She takes a deep breath and sighs. "You're right." The door to the dressing room opens and Kirsten's dark head pops in. "Are you ready? Everything is set up. We're just waiting on you." "Where's Molly?" Tess asks. "She made it, didn't she?" "Don't worry. Molly is sitting in the back row. She can't stand as long as she used to, so she's saving energy to make it through the wedding." "Okay, I guess I'm ready then." Tess gives herself one last look in the mirror and then grabs her bouquet. "I'm so proud of you, Tess," I say, pulling her in for a hug before following her out the door. The beach area they have chosen to get married at is set up beautifully. White chairs straddle a red carpet that leads up to a lovely gazebo. Tulle and twinkly lights hang from columns around the perimeter, and a violinist plays softly. Molly and Samuel's two closest friends, Jim and Trevor, join us at the back, and I scan the chairs for Jameson. He catches my eye and flashes a wave. "Are you ready?" Tristan asks as he touches my arm. Tristan and Dillon are serving as ushers, and as it appears everyone is ready, it's time for him to seat me, the last guest. I take his arm and allow him to lead me up the aisle and to the vacant chair next to Jameson. "You look beautiful," Jameson whispers as I sit, and I take his hand. Tristan sits on the other side of me, and then the music shifts. Molly and Jim walk up the aisle first. Though very pregnant, Molly shines in her soft pink dress. She smiles at Dillon as she passes him and joins the pastor and Samuel up front. Kirsten and Trevor come next, and I smile at how close the girls have become. Once bitter enemies, time, love, and working together has healed those wounds, and now the two are closer than ever. Once Kirsten and Trevor reach the front, the music changes again, and the wedding march begins. I stand and watch my beautiful daughter walk up the aisle. Since her father is no longer in the picture, she decided she wanted to walk down the aisle alone. My heart aches slightly that she has no one to give her away, but that had been Tess's decision. As she takes her place next to Samuel, memories of my own wedding so long ago fill my mind. Though my marriage wasn't a happy one, my wedding day was, and I know Tess's day will also be special. I just hope her marriage will be too. "You've done a great job with her," Jameson says as we sit back down. He didn't know Tess in her mean girl years, but he's heard stories. "I've tried." I smile up at him before turning my attention back to the wedding at hand. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today." The pastor continues speaking, but my focus is on Tess and Samuel. Love shines from both of their eyes, and I wonder if they are even aware of what is happening around them. Before I know it, the pastor is pronouncing them man and wife, and they are kissing. I wipe a stray tear from my cheek and join in the applause as they run back down the aisle. I can't believe my baby is married. "Do you think you'll ever want to marry again?" Jameson asks as he leads me out of the row and down the aisle. Had anyone asked me that a year ago, my answer would have been no. But since he's come into my life, I can see it. Maybe, I say coyly, if the right man asked me. He opens his mouth as if he is going to do just that when a commotion in front of us grabs his attention. I turn to see Molly on her knees in the sand holding her stomach. Dillon reaches her seconds before we do. "Are you okay?" he asks. "Yeah, I think so. It's just, oh," she grabs her stomach again. "I think my water just broke." "Now?" Panic fills his voice as he looks around. "We need a car. Who has a car?" "We have a car," Molly says through gritted teeth. "Oh, right, we do." Dillon begins patting his pocket, but Tristan places a hand on his shoulder. "I'll drive, and we can take my car." Dillon nods. "Right, thank you." "Isn't Samuel her doctor?" I ask. I don't want to cut Tess's day short, but Samuel is the only doctor in town. "No, you can't tell Samuel," Molly says. "I don't want to ruin his wedding day." "Too late," Kirsten says. "Here he comes." "Hey, Molly, I hear you might be having a baby," Samuel says with a smile. "No, I'm sure it can wait. I don't want to ruin your day." "Nonsense," Tess says. "A baby is a happy occurrence. What better way to end a wedding than with the birth of a new life?" "You're not mad?" Molly asks. "No, silly. I'm excited. Let's get you to the clinic and get this baby delivered. Then Samuel and I can take our honeymoon, and when we get back, we can have a big party to celebrate our wedding and this little one." Another tear escapes my eye at Tess's thoughtfulness. She has changed and grown so much that I almost can't believe she's the same girl. "Okay, let's move this party to the clinic," Tristan calls out as he helps Dillon lift Molly to her feet. Jameson. I touch the box in my pocket as I wait next to Tabitha at the hospital. I had planned to propose at the end of the reception, but Molly's premature labor has shifted my plans. Should I ask her here or wait for a more romantic place? "It's a boy!" Dillon calls as he pops out of the delivery room. "Samuel says he and the nurse need a few more minutes to assess her and the baby, and then you can all come in and see him." Cheers and clapping erupt in the crowded waiting room, and I use the moment to pull Tabitha aside. "This isn't the way I planned it, but I don't want to wait any longer," I say, ignoring her quizzical expression. I drop to my knees and open the box. "Tabitha King, will you marry me?" Shock covers her face for a moment, but then she smiles. "Yes, of course I will marry you, Jameson." I slip the ring on her finger and pull her in for a kiss. As we part, another cheer goes up, and I turn to see the group focused on us. Tess runs over to embrace her mother. "Mom, I'm so happy for you. This is the best day ever." "I'm sorry this isn't the day you planned," Tabitha says, returning the hug. "No one could plan this." Tess laughs as her smile widens. "But I'm pretty sure this is better than I ever could have planned." "As long as everyone is sharing good news," Kirsten says, stepping forward. "Tristan and I have some of our own. We're pregnant too." More hugs and clapping ensue, and Samuel has to shout to be heard over the noise. "I'm not sure what just happened out here, but Molly and the baby can take visitors. No more than 4 at a time, though, please." The crowd quiets as those closest to Molly and Dillon shuffle toward the door to see the baby and give their congratulations. Samuel weaves his way through the people until he reaches Tess's side. "I need to stay for monitoring until Dr. Smith gets here, but she's on her way, and then we can head out." "I'm in no hurry," Tess says, smiling up at him. "Everyone I love is here celebrating, and I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be." "Me either," I whisper in Tabitha's ear before kissing her again. She smiles at me when we part, and as I look around at the people I've come to know, I realize that this is the place where I want to spend the rest of my life. Here in this small town surrounded by good friends. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a review. Just a few words really helps.